So welcome everybody to a look at what is hopefully going to be the release of the year, and that is number 5 in the Colombian Noir box set collection, starring Humphrey Bogart. And yes, Humphrey Bogart is one of my favourite actors, so this is highly anticipated, quite frankly. So we're going to talk about each of the films, the directors, the cast, and then the general plot premise. Obviously, I've not seen any of these because this has literally just come through the door less than half an hour ago. So yeah, and I've been writing up all of this stuff beforehand just to make sure it's ready for when this released. And I wasn't expecting this as early as it is because it's not supposed to release until the 27th of June, which is Monday, and it's now Thursday. And wasn't even expecting it this early as well, even on today. So as per usual with these releases, each film has its own case, which is made out of cardboard and plastic, and shows off the artwork in beautiful style. And the first of those is, let me just get them all out of the box so we're ready for looking at. And as per usual, the box and the really rather nice booklet that you get with it are as high quality as ever. And the first of which is from 1947, Dead Reckoning. So like I said, all but one of these stars Humphrey Bogart. We'll get to why the other one doesn't in a minute. But Humphrey Bogart, like I said, has been in 10 films that I really rather enjoyed. Dead End, The Maltese Falcon, Casablanca, To Have and Have Not, The Big Sleep, Dark Passage, The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, Key Largo, In a Lonely Place, and The African Queen. 4 of those with his wife, Lauren Bacall. And this one is Dead Reckoning from 1947, starring Bogart himself as well as Elizabeth Scott. And directed by John Cromwell, who unfortunately I haven't seen anything from before, but if I enjoy this as much as I'm hoping I will, then this will definitely not be the last film I watch from him. So clocks in at 100 minutes long. Elizabeth Scott was also in Too Late for Tears and Dark City, another pair of great film noirs. And it also stars Maurice Karnofsky, who was also in Gun Crazy, The Gambler, and Thieves Highway. And it concerns paratroopers Captain Rip Murdoch, played by Bogart, and Sergeant Johnny Drake, who are mysteriously ordered to travel to Washington, D.C. When Drake learns that he is to be awarded the Medal of Honor, he disappears before newspaper photographers can take his picture. Murdoch follows the clues and tracks him down, where he learns Drake is dead. Further investigations reveal unexpected twists. Rip learns that Johnny had been accused of murder and sets out to find out whatever he can. He falls in love with Coral, whose husband Johnny is supposed to have killed. So sounds really, really interesting. And even though I've not seen anything from the director before, I've seen at least plenty of films from the 3 main leads, and that, as far as I'm concerned, seems like a good enough reason to get into this film. So there's the inside of the case. These are always really rather nicely done with the artwork. I don't mind that they're only cardboard because they're well protected by the box itself that it comes in. So nice mix of cardboard and plastic, but it also means that you get all of them in their own single release because they're nice and thin. If these were in normal Blu-rays, then the box set would be massive, or you just wouldn't put them all in, a single case each, like I have had with other box sets before. So moving on, we have from 1949, Knock on Any Door. This is directed by Nicholas Ray, who I have seen stuff from before. He did the really rather excellent Johnny Guitar and They Live by Night, as well as the really rather solid On Dangerous Ground, although it's no by no means the best film noir going. And this clocks in at 100 minutes long. Stars John Derrick, who was also in Scandal Sheet. I always get that wrong. And as well as George McCready, who was in Gilda, The Big Clock, and My Name is Julia Ross. Again, more great film noirs. And this is about an attorney who defends a hoodlum of murder using the oppressiveness of the slums to appeal to the court. So this one doesn't sound quite as interesting as the previous one. Sounds more like a courtroom drama, but hopefully it's got some film noir, traits to it that are good. And Nicholas Ray has done, like I said, at least 2 films I have really enjoyed, given either 4.5 or 5 stars. So I do have high expectations from this, purely based on Bogart being in it and the director. Then from 1949 as well, we have Tokyo Joe. So this is directed by Stuart Heisler, who also did The Glass Key, which is an early film noir from 1942, only a year after The Maltese Falcon, starring Bogart. And yeah, clocks in at 88 minutes long. Stars Alexander Knox, who was also in The Seawolf and Crack in the World, which is a really rather solid 60s disaster film, as well as Susei Hayakawa, hope I'm saying that right, who was in The Bridge on the River Kwai and the rather excellent House of Bamboo. And yeah, it concerns Joe Barrett, who is played by Bogart, who returns to Tokyo after World War II, where he once owned a bar, Tokyo Joe's, and deserted his wife Trina. They have a 7-year-old daughter, Kimira, who's, I think, the bad guy in this, forces Joe into piloting war criminals by revealing that during the war, Trina made treasonous propaganda broadcasts and is no doubt blackmailing him via that. So, yeah, I've not heard the best things about this, but again, considering the cast and the director, I have high hopes for this. So, yeah, I do hope it's as good as it looks in terms of, you know, look at the cast and the director, but yeah, I've not heard the best things in terms of the film overall, but yeah, thankfully that is not the case for the most of these films. But yeah, then we have from 1951, Scirocco, which is directed by Curtis Bernhardt, who also did the really rather fantastic 1947 film Possessed. And yeah, it clocks in at 98 minutes long, and it stars Lee J. Cobb, who's most well known for being in The Exorcist, but he was also in the rather really good The Garment Jungle, Johnny O'Clock, and The Dark Past, which were all in the previous Columbia Noir sets. The first one was in the Noir set number 1, and the other two were set in the third set. And he was also in Thieves Highway and On the Waterfront. Also stars Everett Sloane, who was really rather good in The Lady from Shanghai, directed by Orson Welles. And yeah, it's about a mysterious American who gets mixed up with gun runners in Syria. So out of the 6, or at least out of the 5 that star Bogart, this is the one that sounds the least interesting, because apparently it's kind of a knockoff of Casablanca from 10 years prior. So yeah, not massively looking forward to this, especially given, you know, that concept of being a rip-off of Casablanca sounds a bit naff, because, you know, Casablanca is as great as it is because it's just Casablanca, it's not a rip-off of anything else. So yeah, I'm hoping this is better than it looks, quite frankly, but that is the one where my expectations are the least in terms of these Bogart releases. And then from 1951 we have The Family Secret. Now this is the one that doesn't star Humphrey Bogart, but it was produced by Bogart Santana Pictures. So, yeah, has his involvement in some regard. But yeah, it's directed by Henry Levin, who also did The Journey to the Centre of the Earth, Convicted, which was in Columbia Noir number 3, as well as 2 of the Matt Helm films, which starred Dean Martin, Murderers Row and The Ambushers. This clocks in at 85 minutes long, and it also stars John Derrick and Lee J. Cobb, which we've talked about already. And it also stars Henry O'Neill, who was in The Reckless Moment, Scandal Sheet, and Convicted. So, yeah, there is some overlap in these films between other Columbia Noir films or, you know, the films themselves in this box set. So, yeah, when his son accidentally kills someone, a lawyer must defend the man wrongly charged with the murder. So, yeah, I actually like the sound of that premise, to be honest. And, yeah, it doesn't star Bogart, but I am interested in it regardless. And, yeah, this is the rarest film of the lot, because despite having, you know, hundreds of thousands of users on it on Letterboxd, this only currently has 23 ratings. So yeah, definitely the rarest of the lot, and the one that I am looking forward to as well, especially in comparison to, say, Scirocco. And finally, from 1956, one of the last films Humphrey Bogart did before he died, unfortunately, in 1957, is The Harder They Fall. Now, this is directed by Mark Robson, who did the similar boxing-themed film Champion, as well as Von Ryan's Express and Earthquake. So quite an eclectic mix of films there, because obviously this has a film noir-esque aspect to it, as well as being a sports drama. But then you've got the sports drama Champion, you've got the World War II film Von Ryan's Express, and then you've got the disaster film Earthquake. So yeah, quite a mix of films there. And yeah, this clocks in at 109 minutes long. And yeah, stars Rod Steiger, who was really rather great in the On the Waterfront, In the Heat of the Night, and Duck You Sucker, also known as A Fistful of Dynamite, as well as starring Jan Sterling, who was really good in The Incident and the rather underrated Split Second. And yeah, it's about jobless sports writer Eddie Willis, who is hired by a corrupt fight promoter Nick Benko to promote his current protege, an unknown Argentinian boxer known as Toro Moreno. Although Moreno is a hulking giant, his chances for success are hampered by a powder puff punch and a glass jaw. Exploiting Willis' reputation for integrity and standing in the boxing community, Benko arranges a series of fixed fights that propel the unsophisticated Moreno to #1 contender for the championship. The reigning champ, the sadistic Buddy Brennan, harbours resentment at the publicity Toro has been receiving and vows to viciously punish him in the ring. Eddie must now decide whether or not to tell the naive Toro the truth. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, because even though it's kind of similar to Champion in terms of it being, a black and white, film set around the boxing world, Champion had Kirk Douglas in it, who was the titular champion, the boxer in that film. Whereas obviously Humphrey Bogart is not going to be a boxer in this. He's well in his 50s. So, yeah, to have him be the middleman between the good and the bad and the innocent is, yeah, definitely something that I am really looking forward to seeing. In terms of how it plays out. And out of all of the films, this is the one that has the best reception out of the lot in terms of reviews from the past or contemporary reviews. So, yeah, it's definitely the one I'm looking forward to the most. So, yeah, really looking forward to it. And it is the highest in terms of the age rating as well, at 12, whereas the rest are PG or U rating. So, yeah, as per usual with these Columbia Noir box sets, you get a really nice solid box. Really like the artwork with this. And yeah, that's everything on the back. And there is a lot of extras in this. And there's the side box itself. And yeah, there's a bunch of shorts in this from around the time that these films would have been released. So you've got some World War II documentary films called The Negro Soldier and The Negro Sailor. You've got some of these are actually directed by or starring people that are involved in the 6 films. And then you got That Justice Be Done, a documentary short. And then you got Tuesday in November, another documentary short in which Nicholas Ray served as an assistant director. Then you got Watchtower Over Tomorrow, a documentary short directed by John Cromwell, who directed the first one. Those 2 Negro propaganda films were directed by Henry Levin, by the way. And yeah, then you've also got The Big Moment, a short film produced by the United Jewish Appeal, which stars John Derrick. Then you've got, the trailer for Knock on Any Door. You've got image galleries. And crucially, you've got a really nice booklet, which is 120 pages, which is really rather nicely done. So you've got shots from the film, and then you've got promo shots of the casts, mainly Bogart himself. Really rather nice pictures of him. And yeah, it goes through all of the films, really. But yeah, it's got The World Weary, Humphrey Bogart, Santana Productions and Columbia, which is written by Imogen Sarah Smith. And then you got going all through the films themselves, and then it also talks about the short films, as well as how the presentation and the credits themselves. So yeah, I'll just read the first paragraph of this World Weary write-up by Imogen Sarah Smith, because it is kind of sets the tone for the box set himself. So Humphrey Bogart made it cool to be middle-aged. Over 40 when he finally broke through to stardom in 1941 with Raoul Walsh's High Sierra. Still got to see that, but I'm really looking forward to finally getting to see it. And the John Huston classic, The Maltese Falcon. He made his vintage as much a selling point as it was for a fine Scotch. His youthful awkwardness had mellowed into self-assured minimalism. His anger at a craven and false-hearted world was distilled into dry, scathing wit. He knew how to sit back, pulling on his earlobe and puckering his basset hound eyebrows, and observe the sad antics of a world in which, as he liked to say, everyone was 3 drinks behind. Bogart was a perfect star for an age when America grew up fast, a hero for the cold light of the post-war hangover. Film noir fit him like a glove. So yeah, really looking forward to reading the rest of that. But as you can see, you've got Humphrey Bogart, Elizabeth Scott, and the director Don Conwell from Dead Reckoning there in the shot there. And you got more shots here. So yeah, you got director Stuart Heisland with one of the actors on Tokyo Joe. So yeah, it's really amazing that they've been able to keep these images alive, really, and they will be alive for even longer now that they're being kept in this 6,000 run of this box set. So yeah, really pleased with this in terms of the physical release itself. Whether or not I'm going to be pleased with the films themselves is another thing, but yeah, we'll definitely be reviewing all 6 in the future. Hopefully we'll get one watch tonight at least. So yeah, anyway, nonetheless, thanks for watching. If you've got this release already, then I hope you're going to enjoy it hopefully as much as I will. But if not, then yeah, look forward to the reviews, and yeah, hopefully that will help make your mind up on whether or not you're going to get it or not. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.